Good evening, folks, and welcome to another episode of It Came From Beyond the Mic. I'm your host, Cortez, and let me tell you, this week, I always do the intros like that, whatever. This week, I did a movie that I actually ended up really enjoying, but before I talk about it, I'd like to just say, spoilers, like every week, I talk about spoilers for every movie I talk about, but this movie was a banger. I was like kind of surprised that I liked it, but also not. So, we're talking about Killer Klowns from Outer Space, and oh my god, this movie's so fun. Holy shit. It's not like scary, but it doesn't need to be. It's still a horror movie, and okay, if you don't like clowns, don't watch the movie. If you have a severe fear of clowns, I think it's called like calorophobia or something. Let me Google it real quick. I have a phone on me, as people do. But, you know, while I look that up, how to pronounce it, shout out to my best friend Amaya, because she actually has the fucking clown fear. What is it called? Calorophobia? Yeah, okay, I was kind of right the first time. Anyway, shout out to my best friend Amaya. She has a fear of clowns, so Amaya, don't watch this movie. And it also does not help that the clowns are kind of like spiders, because she very much does not like spiders. So, I just kind of want to get that shit out of the way. So, this movie, it's all in the title, really. Killer Klowns from Outer Space. But it's good because it doesn't let you forget that the clowns are clowns. Because obviously they're aliens, and their spaceship or whatever is a giant big top, and it's just fucking silly. I would sum up this movie by just calling it silly, but in an endearing way, because I had so much fun watching this movie. God damn, it felt good to watch this movie after fucking Escape from Tomorrow. So we have like three protagonists in this movie. We have Mike, we have his girlfriend Debbie, and then we have Dave, who is a cop, and also Debbie's ex-boyfriend. They all have to stop the clowns, basically. The clowns land in their little town, and they're like, oh fuck, the clowns are killing people. And they gotta save the day, or save the night, really. This is one of those things where it's like, oh, it takes place all at night, and it's a crazy night for these characters. There's also another cop, his name is Mooney, his last name is Mooney. He's a fucking asshole. He's probably homophobic, I'm willing to bet. Big homophobe, that guy. Because there's like, the introduction to the cop characters is them like putting away these two punk guys, and they were just enjoying a bottle of wine in the park, which I guess like public intoxication. But it seems very much like it's two gay punk guys from the college, and then they're like bullying these fucking gay guys, and I'm like, wow. That was a little weird. So I would not be surprised if, not the actor, I'm just talking about the character, but if the character was a fucking homophobe. Stupid. So these clowns, right, they're fucking clowns, and the reason they're on Earth is because they're using humans as food, and the way that they translate human beings into food is they wrap them up in cotton candy and then hang them in their, like, cotton candy storage part on their spaceship. Oh my god. So, in the latter half of the movie, like, near the very end, we see how the clowns actually eat human beings, and this movie's full of all those little details that I'm just like, I love this. They are clowns, and they are never not clowns. Because a lot of the kills or whatever are like slapstick, but then for the clowns to consume human beings, they use silly straws, and they suck blood out of them. They like stick the straw into the cotton candy cocoon, and they fucking drink the blood. And it's like, oh, that sounds morbid, but it's silly. It's clowns. Admittedly, the clown designs are like gross and creepy, but it's not like your stereotypical, like, oh, I'm a murderer clown. I'm a clown with a knife. They're just, like, warped, like, monstrous kind of clowns. Like, they look like a clown and an alligator fucked, and then that's what came out was the Killer Klowns from Outer Space. So I kind of love them. And there's, like, 6 main clowns, but then, again, near the end of the movie, the latter half, we find out that there are many more clowns, or they were making more clowns, but there's more clowns on the ship. The Mother Big Top ship, or whatever. Also, apparently the clowns use popcorn to make proto-clowns or something. I don't know if it's like, if it makes more clowns or if it just makes a different variation of clown, but they're kind of like Jack-in-the-Box variants where they have like spindly necks and then they come out and then they're like gross little clown heads on them. It's kind of funny. It's another one of those things that's like a little attention to detail is like to the untrained eye, it's like, oh, gross, it's like a creepy clown thing, but it's like very obviously supposed to be like a Jack-in-the-Box. And I just, it's so good. It's so good. And these clowns are ruthless as shit, too, because it's pretty pretty early on stated that these clowns will kill dogs, they will kill children, they will kill the elderly. They're just looking for food. They don't care who you are, what you are. If you got blood in you, they'll drink it, and they're fucking clowns. Honestly, watching this movie, I've kind of been on a horror game kick recently, at least indie horror games. I don't know why I'm so interested in this all of a sudden. But, I mean, of course, I still like my horror movies. That's why I'm sitting here right now talking to you. I guess you're listening to me, whatever. This movie makes me want a fucking Killer Clowns, like, survival horror game. I don't know what it was about it, but it just had, like, a vibe that would be perfect. Maybe I should just go play a Resident Evil game, whatever. But something about all the clown stuff was fucking great to me, because there's so much color in this movie, because the clown spaceship is all lit up, the clowns, you know, they're all colorful, their weaponry is colorful, all their fucking antics. There's a part where a clown punches a dude's head clean off, like with boxing gloves. They're clowns. They're fucking clowns, and they kill people. It's just, that's the movie. Killer Clowns. God damn. Before I delve into the nature of these clowns, I'd actually like to thank a sponsor of this week's episode. Shout out to the Injection Shop, that is spelled INJEXTION. Injection is a shop you can easily find on teespring.com and is actually owned by a close friend of mine, Rose. Rose currently has 4 kick-ass shirt designs as well as a simple yet effective sticker design up on the shop. The full link is teespring.com/stores/injection. Again, that's spelled INJEXTION. There will be a link in the description on both the audio and video versions of this episode. If you're listening in on a mobile device, don't be shy. Teespring has an easy-to-use mobile interface as well. Thank you very much to this week's sponsor, Injection. One of the silliest things about the clowns is that their nose is the weak spot, so it's almost like a video game trope, because like the fucking big red spot on the enemy is the weak point, so it's like, oh, the big clown nose is the weak point. It's so much clown detail in this movie. Admittedly, some of the like humor early on is like dated, just because like the main character Mike, what he says, but who gives a fuck? That's not what the movie's about. The movie's about clowns, so I don't give a fuck what he said. Also, Mike sounds like John Mulaney, which is just something to note, I suppose. It was kind of off-putting while I was watching the movie, just because I was like, yo, that's like twin-cast fucking John Mulaney. And then there's also these side characters called the Terenzi Brothers, and they own an ice cream truck, and they're trying to get pussy, but it's hard for them, because it's not easy to get pussy with an ice cream truck. And then they fuck clowns at the end of the movie. Maybe they don't fuck the clowns, but they like make out with the clowns. So, if you're into that, if clown sex is your sexual awakening, then that's for you. So I personally don't have a fear of clowns, but before I saw this movie, I definitely knew about one particular scene where there's a clown and he's doing hand puppets or shadow puppets, whatever you would like to call them. So he's doing these shadow puppets on the side of a building, and there's these people at a bus stop, and they're watching the clown, and they're amused. They're like, whoa, the clown, he's doing animals. He did a bunny, he did an elephant. Oh, he's doing a belly dancer. Oh, there's George Washington crossing that like fucking river or whatever. And it's really funny. A lot of this stuff is funny because they're clowns. They're funny, at least to me. But then the clown like turns the shadow into a monster, and then the shadow monster eats the people. And I was told, or I had heard rather, that had been a horrifying scene for a lot of people, at least when they were younger. Obviously, this was my first time watching the movie. I am a 19-year-old man. So it didn't affect me, but I can see why it was creepy. I was like preparing for it. I was like, oh, this is the part that people don't like because it's creepy as fuck. But honestly, this movie is not that scary. If you are younger, I can see why it's scary. If you don't like clowns, I can see why it's scary. But it was so silly and enjoyable to me. I had no problem watching it. It's so dumb. Oh yeah, and that asshole Mooney I mentioned earlier, he like doesn't believe that there are actually clowns killing people, so he's being a naive cock about it, and he's letting the phones ring off the hook at the police station because he's believed that everyone in town is in on this big prank. And eventually he gets what's coming to him. He gets killed by a clown and then turned into a puppet. Which, actually, honestly, I think this scene where Mooney gets used like a puppet is the most horrifying scene, but I hadn't heard about that ever. Maybe you probably find the clip on YouTube or something. But I think that was genuinely the most horrifying part, and it's very short, so it's not like it matters. That's also the same scene where we figure out that the clown's weak spot is their nose, so it's just like, am I creeped out, or is this just dumb? And it is dumb, but it's dumb fun. It's not dumb in a pointless way. It's dumb on purpose, and I respect it for that, because they are clowns. This is very much, like, separate from the actual events of the plot in this movie, but I fucking adore the soundtrack. The soundtrack was not overbearing on the film, but it is unique. It is unique as fuck because it's got like little clown like circus like da 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 in there. Oh my god. Okay, if y'all don't want to see this movie, that's fine. If you don't like clowns, if you do not like clowns, that is fine. Go listen to the intro song, or I don't know, the main theme, whatever you want to call it, of this movie. It goes so hard. It's about the killer clowns. It's very non-subtle, doesn't need to be. But it slaps really hard, and there's also a line where the main singer says that the clowns are bringing genocide to the human race, and that is the funniest shit I have ever heard. That tickles my ribs so goddamn hard. It's great. I'm kind of surprised how much I'm gushing about the clown movie, considering that it's not a masterpiece, and it doesn't need to be, but honestly, if it's someone's favorite movie, I'm not surprised at all. I think it is worthy of being someone's favorite movie. I don't think it's my favorite movie, because ultimately, I think Halloween is like one of my favorite horror movies, let alone films of all time, but I just, this is a good use of time as far as watching a movie goes. I think my friend Matt likes this movie, and I can see why. He didn't recommend it to me, I decided to watch it of my own accord, but goddamn, clown movie good. So I guess take that as a recommendation, whatever. If you don't like clowns, don't watch it. That's all I have to say, really. Anywho, I should probably talk about the story events. So Mike and Deb, they find out about the clowns. They go report the clowns. They get Dave on their side. They convince him that the clowns are real. Then Dave and Mike are going around town looking for the clowns because the clowns, made it into the town after landing in the woods somewhere. A lot of this stuff that we see is Mike and Dave just going around aimlessly, but then the clowns are just killing people, so we get to see like funny, goofy clown shit, and I'm like, okay, this is fantastic. Then it all comes to a head when the clowns steal Deborah, take Deborah to like an actual carnival where they had moved their ship to. So the ship is now moved to an actual carnival. They take Deborah there. That's like their new base of operations. It's like, oh fuck, clowns are real. Before the clowns get into the funhouse, the carnival, whatever you want to call it, they kill this security guard, but they kill him by throwing a bunch of pies at him. But the pies are like acidic or corrosive or something, and they melt him away. It's so fucking funny to me. I don't know. Because I was like, oh, he's getting hit by pies. Okay, it's kind of like funny. It's just he's overwhelmed by pies. But then it's like, no, it melted away, and you see like his bone hand, and I'm like, it's so stupidly brilliant. It's just clown. It's just clown antics after clown antics. So the climax is when Dave and Mike rescue Deborah. She was held in a balloon. More clown shit. They get her out. They run through. They end up in like the bowels of the fucking clown mothership, the Big Top, I'll call it. They get cornered by clowns, but then the Terenzi Brothers show up in their ice cream truck. They save them for like a second, and then all the clowns back off, and you're like, whoa, what's happening? I call it the Omega Clown. It's just a larger... I think it's commonly referred to by fans as Clownzilla, or something like that, and that makes sense because it is a much larger, more reptilian-looking clown. So it's basically a larger clown, and the clown like throws the ice cream truck, and then the ice cream truck blows up with the two brothers in it, and it's like, oh god. So then Dave is like, get out, and then Mike and Deborah have to leave, and then it's Dave, and he's fighting the Omega Clown, and the Omega Clown grabs Dave. He's like, oh god, oh fuck, what's gonna happen? So just as Mike and Deb are escaping, Dave is stuck in the clutches of the Omega Clown, and the Big Top is taking off. It's in the air. The backup that David called for is showing up. They're looking up at the sky. Then Dave... I don't even know how this works, but Dave stabs the Omega Clown in the nose, the weak spot, with his badge. I guess that works. I guess the badge is sharp enough to pop the nose, so I guess the noses are like balloons or something. Anyway, it kills the Omega Clown. So when the clowns die, they explode. I didn't mention this before, because it's somewhat minor until now, where it's actually relevant. So the energy that is output by the explosion of the Omega Clown is enough to blow up the entire Big Top. So in the air, it fucking blows up. And we have Mike and Deb, and they're looking. They're like, oh god, oh fuck, what happened? Then boom, crash, a clown car. All the cops like pull their guns on it. Who comes out of the clown car? It is Dave. He comes out and he's a hero, and then Mike and Deb are really happy to see him. And then also the Terenzi Brothers come out. It's like, wait, how did the Terenzi Brothers survive? They literally go, we hid in the freezer with all the ice cream, so we survived the explosion. And it's so stupid. It's just it's like a happy ending, but it's so dumb. It put a stupid smile on my face. I legitimately laughed out loud at this movie at least like 3 times, I think, which is a lot for a horror movie, but I don't know, it's different. It's so silly. I'm sure this movie exists just so the concept could be out there, and I'm glad it does. I think the ultimate good ending is if Dave, Mike, and Deborah all have a polyamorous relationship with one another. That's just what I'm feeling about those characters. So, you know, be like Mike developed a crush on Dave. Anyway, that's not actually important. That's like fan fiction bullshit. So ignore what I'm saying. I think genuinely, I've been gushing for the last 15 minutes, but I think that's all my thoughts on Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It's got so much dumb clown detail, so much clown like jokes and shit. It's just fun for a horror movie, and I guess yes, it is a horror movie. But if you want to have a good time watching one, watch this movie. Again, if you're afraid of clowns, just don't. Stay away from it. Whatever. Just look at an image of the clown on Google Images, and you're like, yeah, that's enough for me. However, please do listen to that like main theme. Oh my god, I'm gonna listen to it after I record this. Actually, So those are my thoughts on Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Fun movie, fun time. Thank you all very much for listening to me fucking go on about this movie. I guess I'd be going on if I was going for a long time. But whatever, I was just kind of sucking the movie off. I was sucking off a clown. But I hope you all join me next week when I talk about something else. Some other fucking movie. Let me figure it out. You can find this podcast on Anchor and Spotify now. As stated in the end of the last episode, I'm no longer using Podomatic. I have moved on to Anchor. And through Anchor, my podcast is now available on Spotify. I believe my podcast is still available on Podcast Addict. I don't know. I kind of need to check things with that, honestly. But thank you very much for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and good night.